Some new gun control laws in Michigan might just be the tip of the iceberg, folks.
A pair of gun safety bills now state law, signed by Governor Whitmer 2 months after the shooting at Michigan State University.
Universal background checks will help keep guns out of the hands of violent criminals, domestic abusers, and people on terrorism watch lists and no-fly lists. Right now, only pistols require a background check to purchase, but long guns and shotguns do not. That doesn't make any sense. Background checks also help our law enforcement stay safe on the job and solve crimes more easily.
Talk about that in just a minute, but first, we have a giveaway going on. It's happening right now. It's absolutely free, but it ends really soon. So all you need to do is click the link in the description down below to find out what it is we're giving away. So let's talk about what's going on in Michigan right now, because that may be a precursor to what could happen across the country. As a result of some mass shootings in Michigan, the Michigan legislature has pushed forward some gun control bills, and the governor, of course, signed them immediately, right on the heels of the very first gun control package following the shootings at Michigan State and then the Oxford High School over there. They pushed some gun control measures, some new things forward, and now they've come up with, again, red flag laws. These emergency response protection orders allow the courts, police, sometimes private citizens to even make complaints so that guns can ostensibly be taken away temporarily from a person who might be a danger to himself or others. So this is getting pushed forward, and 19 states already have these red flag laws. And we need to be very careful. We need to understand exactly what we're doing when we support or oppose red flag laws, because red flag laws can be used to take away your Fourth Amendment rights, get rid of your due process, and just come and take your guns. And we're hearing more and more reports of how difficult it is for people who have gone through this red flag law process to get their guns back. They're in a hurry to take the guns, but they're not in a hurry to give them back following a red flag law seizure of these firearms. So it's happening, like I said, in Michigan, and you can bet that Governor Whitmer over there, she's going to sign any law that gets put on her desk that increases gun control. Understand that's kind of the way things are going in Michigan lately. But just because we've had some big wins in the Supreme Court recently doesn't mean that at the state level, that state officials are going to stop trying to enact further gun control legislation. Now, these will be described by everyone who's supporting them as gun safety measures. And it's kind of difficult to argue when somebody says, well, we're just taking away a gun from somebody who might be a danger. Well, understand that's not how the law works. We're innocent until proven guilty. And yes, we don't want people who are a danger to go out and hurt anyone. But we also don't want to just strip away liberties, just throw a blanket over the top of them so that we can't have those liberties. We're protected against illegal searches and seizures. We are given, and I shouldn't even say that, it's not that we're given. Our First Amendment rights to speak are protected. Our Second Amendment rights to own a gun so that we can defend ourselves are protected. The Third Amendment says we don't have to quarter troops in our house, so we're protected from doing that. So understand that these rights don't give us anything. They just keep the government from taking things away from us. And when we're talking about these extreme risk protection orders, these ERPOs, red flag laws, we're allowing the government to take things away from people, oftentimes without due process. And then these laws make it very difficult for the people who have suffered under them to get their firearms back. Suddenly they have to prove that they have a right to have their firearms. It's no longer innocent until proven guilty. Now they have to prove that they're innocent, prove that they're capable and okay to do this. I much prefer dangerous liberty to safety and security that takes away my freedom. Understand that. I don't want to have liberty infringed because somebody else might do something wrong with their guns. I want to live in a free society where I am free to do what I want to as long as I don't hurt anyone else. And the government then has to prove that I've done something wrong before they can punish me. That's the way this is supposed to work. We shouldn't be preemptively punished. We should be held accountable for everything that we do wrong. Now that means the government should be enforcing all of the gun laws that are currently on the books. Now, think about this sometimes. A felon goes out there, commits a crime with a gun, and through the plea bargaining process, they get to plead away the gun enhancement, and they'll plead guilty to the felony robbery or something like that, but the gun charge goes away. We should stop doing that. We should enforce these gun laws. We should enforce the enhancements that make sure that people go to jail for a long time when they misuse firearms. Firearms in the right hands save lives. They stop millions of crimes every year. And in the wrong hands, yes, they are dangerous. But if someone comes at me with a gun, I want to be able to respond in kind and with full interest. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, I should be allowed to have my own gun, and then we should be judged after the incident. Was I privileged to use force to defend myself? Did I do it correctly? I will gladly stand by for that investigation. So think about this, folks. We're talking about new gun control restrictions coming to the states. At the national level, the Supreme Court has made some rulings, and that has just prompted the states to try other tricks, other means to make it more difficult to own firearms and to make it easier for the state to take the guns away. All of these cases are going to probably go back through the Supreme Court, but in the interim, we as law-abiding gun owners need to get involved in politics. We need to pay attention to what's going on, and we need to vote our principles. We need to vote for this belief that gun ownership is our God-given right, that we can defend ourselves. There's certainly no way that this government is ever going to be able to effectively scoop up all 400 million guns that are currently floating around the United States. That's going to be a police state if they ever try to do something like that, and nobody's going to stand for it. So as long as guns exist, and bad people exist, bad people will get a hold of guns, and good people need to be allowed to use their guns to defend against bad people. And everyone who uses a gun illegally should be held accountable. I'm 100% behind that idea, and I don't think we're doing that right now. I don't think our current gun control laws focus on the criminals. I think they focus on the honest, law-abiding citizens who are going to follow those laws anyway. The criminals just ignore them.